Greetings. This is Doc Ock coming at you live and direct tonight from Black Facts Headquarters Central. Once again, we're here to give you a grin on your way to bed. Let's see what we can do tonight to go ahead and get a proverb in. It don't rain every time the pigs squeal. It don't rain every time the pigs squeal. Now that's a plantation proverb. It don't rain every time the pigs squeal. Black fact for tonight. Let's see what we got. We had one from last night. Okay. Who was the first African-American astronaut in space? Now there is a question. And I wonder who has the answer. Okay. You know what? Hold on one second. Oops. I almost forgot I had it tonight. Where did I put that at? Just had it. No, it must be in this one. All right, here we go. All right. Sorry about that. I usually have everything ready right here in front of me, but today, here we go. And there's the picture that I'm looking for. Actually, I got one here, and I got another one over here. Let's see where the other one went to. Is it still in here? No, I don't see the other one here. But that's all right. I got one right here. All right, here we go. Yep. Okay. Sorry about that. I hate having to do that. But I really spent all day working on this, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't go without you seeing the first African American, actually not an astronaut, but a cosmonaut. That's right. This brother went up into the cosmos. Okay. So on the right, over here, you see Yuri Romanenko, is a Soviet cosmonaut. And over here, you see Arnaldo Tamayo Mendez, a Cuban cosmonaut. And usually I wait till the end to reveal the answer to it. But I was so excited tonight, I was overcome and showed it to you right now. But that's okay, because I got another question for you, ready for you when we get done. And in the meanwhile, let's go ahead and read a little bit more of our story tonight about the Mae Jemison, Dr. Mae Jemison, and the 100-year Starship. Dr. Mae Jemison and the 100-year Starship. Now, we were reading about this last night. Okay, and we stopped when we got to this picture right here of the spaceship, the Starship Enterprise that you all may have seen on TV. It's been quite popular. You can see it on the number of versions: Voyager, Enterprise, the original Star Trek. That's like Star Trek Classic. You can see it even on, what's the name of that one? Deep Space Nine, which has actually become my favorite Star Trek now. But neither here nor there. This idea became well known through the TV, through the boob tube. So now Mae Jemison is working on designing a starship, a real starship. And in order to talk about it, we have to go back, way back to the year 1901 and H.G. Wells, when he wrote a novel called The First Men in the Moon. Not on the moon, in the moon. So I didn't read the story, so I'm not really sure why they're in the moon instead of on the moon. So I'll have to read it. Maybe you can read it. I'm sure you can find it on, you can find a copy online. So look for it, check it out, see what you find. Or at your local library. Within 70 years, NASA really did send people to the moon. There have been many movies and TV shows about spacecraft traveling beyond our solar system. The 100-year Starship team believes that we are not far from making that dream real too. It will work to make the team will work to make a Starship possible within 100 years. And a Starship is a spaceship designed for interstellar travel. You remember the other day we talked about interplanetary travel? That's when you travel within our little solar system. If you travel outside of our solar system and you go deeper into the universe, then you're dealing with interstellar. And that's what they're talking about, from one star system or solar system to another solar system. Interstellar probe ideas. Some scientists have already designed potential interstellar spacecraft. Project Daedalus. Okay, yeah, we talked about him last night too. In the 1970s, looked at the possibility of travel to Barnard's star, about 6 light years away. In 2009, Project Icarus began another study of robotic interstellar probes using all the advances of the previous 30 years. 100-year Starship will take these ideas even further. It will look at human interstellar travel. Project Daedalus's spacecraft Daedalus was never built, but its design provides 100-year Starship with ideas for interstellar travel. And then this is the artist concept. Remember, they do this a lot when they're talking about space and other things that where, some of the objects haven't been seen, or the inventions that we're thinking about have not been created yet. They're doing artist conception. So art and science go together. Keep that in mind. Delta II rockets launched Kepler into orbit at about 23,760 miles per hour. Imagine, that's like so much faster than what your parents do on the freeway. They're typically only going about 60 or 70 miles an hour. And this rocket takes off at 23,760 miles per hour. Getting started. Space is a vacuum. That means there is nothing in space to slow down a spacecraft. An object in a vacuum continues on the same path at the same speed. Chemical rockets propel today's spacecraft. These rockets give the craft a big burst of energy at the start of its journey. Then the spacecraft keeps traveling at that speed through space. Both Voyagers 1 and 2 use the gravity of Jupiter to gather speed during their journeys. Are we there yet? NASA launched the probe Voyager 1 in 1977 on a tour of the solar system and beyond. It is now more than 100 astronomical units from Earth. Voyager 1 travels at 17,000 miles per hour, or 27,359 kilometers per hour. If you compare the trip between Earth and Proxima Centauri, our closest neighboring star, to a trip between California and New York, Voyager has only traveled about 1 mile. Yeah. So from 1977 to 2020, and it's only traveled about a mile so far, and it's 3,000 miles all the way to Cali. So they're saying it would, if it keeps going at this rate, it would take 70,000 years to get to Proxima Centauri. Wow, 70,000 years. That's a long time. The Apollo missions sped through space at 25,000 miles per hour, or 40,234 kilometers per hour. Pioneer missions reached speeds of 110,000 miles per hour, or 177,000 kilometers per hour. But even these speeds aren't enough to get us very, very far, very fast. To travel to interstellar space within a lifetime, engineers would have to develop systems to propel a spacecraft at least 1/10 the speed of light, about 28,600 miles per second, not per hour, but per second. It took Apollo missions more than 3 days to the moon. So yeah, the speed we're traveling at right now, it's like we're going at a snail's pace. So we're really going to have to step up our game if we intend to go to any other solar system, including the ones closest to us. Enough power. With the chemical fuel rockets we use today, it would take tens of thousands of years to reach the nearest star. So the 100-year Starship team is looking into new ways to propel spacecraft. It has to decide if a spacecraft needs a short, strong burst at the beginning of a journey or a slow and continuous push as it travels. All matter is made up of tiny materials called atoms. Atoms may be a power source for spacecraft. This is called nuclear energy. Nuclear fission is a process that creates energy by breaking atoms apart. Nuclear fission makes energy by combining atoms. These processes and others not yet discovered may be ways to power a starship. Exploring possibilities. So we got a timeline here that they give us here. 1901, they talk about H.G. Wells and his book, The First Man in the Moon. 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin take one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, as they like to say. First humans to land on the moon. 1973 to 78, Project Daedalus studies the possibilities of a starship. 2009, Project Icarus continues their studies of Daedalus. 2012, Dr. Mae Jemison and her team are awarded a grant to start the 100-year Starship project. 2012, the 100-year Starship team hopes to have created technologies to make a real Starship possible. Protection from space. Space is not a friendly place. Engineers will need to design a spacecraft to keep humans protected on a long journey. On Earth, our atmosphere protects us. The atmosphere is the air surrounding our planet. There is no air in space. Temperatures jump from extremely hot in the sun to extremely cold in the shade. Interstellar space is also a very cold place, the farther one gets from the sun. The energy flowing out of our sun is called radiation. Some forms of radiation can be harmful. Space is also filled with micrometeoroids. These tiny pieces of space dust can cause a lot of damage to a high-speed aircraft. The spacecraft will have to be strong to stand up to the harshness of space. It has to be lightweight. Then it will need less energy to propel it at high speeds through space. Okay, and they give us a number of ideas here, ideas on what to do about this problem, how to solve the problem. Okay, so this story does continue, but we're going to end it right here because our time is about up. So we're leaving off at the beginning of chapter 4. If you want to, I'm going to give some people opportunities to get some of these materials that we're reading. So look for an opportunity to pick up on this one at our page. Go to our website www.blakfacts.org. Go to the website, and we'll be posting some information up there on how you can get some of these materials, because this one is a very interesting book. It's like something you would use in school, but I used to use books like this when we were tutoring. I never saw this particular one. And I've gone through pretty much the whole set of books they had at the elementary schools that I was teaching at. So I think it's a definitely good book. Meanwhile, we're going to go ahead and sign out. We already answered our question about the first African American in space. Now, in case you were wondering why I'm talking about somebody from Cuba being the first African American, that would be because we live in the Americas. There's more than one America. North America, South America, Central America, and then all the islands that make up the Caribbean, all together are the Americas. So Cuba is just as American, matter of fact, more American than apple pie, because this is one of the first islands that Columbus encountered when he came over from Europe. And then the second thing is that he's definitely African. He's what they call an Afro-Cubano. Okay, an Afro-Cubano, somebody that's mixed with African and possibly some Spanish or some Indio. So that's how that goes. So in other words, he's just like one of us, except he speaks Spanish. And in order to go on a mission with the Russians, the one qualification you have is you have to speak Russian. So you have to be able to read, write, and speak and understand Russian. You also have the requirements you had to have in order to get on a rocket here, which were the engineering experience and some classroom time, so on and so forth. But the interesting thing is that you also had to learn an entirely new language, or a different language, far different from the Spanish that most people in Cuba speak. Okay, all right. Let's move on to our question for tonight that you're going to answer tomorrow. In what decade did apartheid officially end in South Africa? Did it officially end in the 70s, the 80s, or the 90s? Let's see what answer you come up with. And in the meanwhile, this is Doc Ock signing off. All you little ones out there, you know what it's time to do. Lay that little head down on your little pillow, on your little bed. Close those eyes and wait for that sun to rise. And when you see that sun coming up in the sky, sunbeams beaming down on both of your little eyes, go ahead and start to rise and greet the new day in a whole new way, which is how we should do every single day. All right, Ronnie. And then other than that, for you adults out there, you know what you need to do too. Make sure to subscribe if you're on YouTube. Go ahead and give us a like or a share if you're seeing this on Facebook. This weekend, we're going to have a special weekly rewind. And our weekly rewind this week is going to consist of this right here. This is what we're going to do. I was going to try to do it as a watch party, but it dawned on me that I probably won't be able to do it as a watch party, but you'll be able to access it on Facebook and on YouTube. And we're going to go black in space. That's right. We're going black in space. We're going to watch this movie and do some commenting on the movie. You all will be able to ask questions, etc., about the movie as we watch it on Facebook or as you watch on YouTube. This is a very, very good movie. I really appreciated the perspective they brought to race in space, which is what we're going to continue talking about tomorrow at noon. So you can see us here at noon. And we're going to also continue dealing with this same topic, although not with Mae Jemison. We're going to move on into some other areas. And we're not going to talk about the 100-year Starship. We're going to move on to some other areas and some other people. We may even do a little bit of where'd he go? Oops, here he goes over here. We may even do a little monkeying around. Yeah, that's right. Got some monkey tails for you too. Okay, all about space and the story of outer space. So meanwhile, we're gonna go ahead and sign off. We'll see you tomorrow at high noon. This is Doc Ock at noon and 9 signing off. Peace out, y'all.